Todd Bodine is looking ahead to 1998 as he sets off on a new Winston Cup course. But he has unfinished business to attend to this year in the Busch Series, chasing Randy LaJoie for the title. Bodine's season has been topsy-turvy. He's battled for victory in every race, and today he returns to the spot where he earned his first career victory, Dover, Delaware. But the monster's been good as well to defending series champion Randy LaJoie. LaJoie has won 2 of the last 3 here. Can he repeat this fall? The Busch Series championship stretch run begins next. Welcome to Dover, Delaware, and our coverage of the MBNA 200 for the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series on TNN. Again, it's a 2-man battle for the title in 1997. This day, the challenger has a long way to go to get to the front. Standing by with Glenn Jarrett.
That's exactly right, Rick. He does have a long way to go. He starts in 30th position, less than stellar qualifying effort. Todd, you guys had a chance to adjust on the car yesterday afternoon. Did you get it fixed? Can you get it to the front?
Well, I tell you, Glenn, it's a tough field in front of me. A lot of good cars, but we got the Stanley Pontiac pretty decent. We weren't the fastest, but we were pretty consistent. That's what it takes at Dover is consistency. Hopefully we can be around at the end and be around up front, keep the Stanley Pontiac in victory lane. That's someplace we haven't been this year. We need to get there.
Well, he's been there 3 times at Dover in the past. In fact, he won them both in '93, and he has completed 99% of all the laps he's ever run here in the Busch Series. So I think he'll be around at the finish. I'm joined on pit road today by Steve Burns.
Thanks, Glenn. But bad news for Todd Bodine fans. Randy LaJoie loves this racetrack. He's won 2 races here. He swept 1996, and he finished 3rd here in May in this very same race car. Randy, 179-point lead. How about today?
I think we're in pretty good shape. You know, Base Motorsports gives always a good race car, but especially here at Dover. You know, Fina gives this race team what it needs. I like this place, and we won a race here last year, starting from 16th, so we'll see what we got. If we got something good, I'm going to the front.
All righty, let's check in now with Chad Little, also on pit road.
Thank you, Steve. I wanted to talk for just a second about our pole sitter, Mr. Dick Trickle, the legendary Dick Trickle, who happens to not only have the earliest birthday out of all the starters today, but he's also the oldest competitor. Next to him is another Winston Cup regular, Ricky Craven, but the man starting 3rd today is Bobby Labonte. Now, Bobby wrecked his car terribly in the practice session before qualifying, got his backup car out, qualified 3rd, and he also won this race in June. So look out for him. Back up to you, Rick.
All right, thanks a lot, Chad. I'm joined topside today by a couple of legends, 3-time Winston Cup champion Darrell Waltrip, Hall of Famer Buddy Baker, and Buddy, with 5 races to go in the Busch Series season, this is the time when some drivers need to step up and get a win under their belts.
I guarantee you, there's a lot of sponsors out there right now. They're saying, we're going to spend our money, but we want a winner. These guys know it's very important. They need to step up now.
Darrell Waltrip, you've been on the racetrack all week long, getting ready for tomorrow's MBNA 400. Is it racy this week? 2 grooves, 1 groove? What do you think?
The track's a little slower than it was here in the spring. I don't know if it's the weather, tires, or whatever, but if you had 2 extremely highly skilled, trained professionals in 2 excellent handling race cars, they may be able to run side by side for a lap or 2. You can't do that very long. It's a 1-groove racetrack. I think you saw in the Labonte piece, the dust, the dirt, and all that flies up when you get out of the groove. That's what these guys will be fighting, particularly early on, until they try that outside and see if they can make it or not.
Welcome back live to Dover Downs International Speedway. Time for our split fire starting grid this afternoon. Dick Trickle, your pole qualifier in the Duraloop car. Craven will line up alongside in the Ray Vestas Chevrolet. Second row today, Bobby Labonte. He whacked the wall hard with his primary machine. This is a backup car, but he starts 3rd. And Kevin LePage on the outside of row 2. He was 4th back in June. 3rd row today, Tim Fedewa in the Kleenex 33. Joe Bessie in the Power Team Chevrolet, the 6th car. Your 4th row, Buckshot Jones moving up partly to Winston Cup next year. We'll talk more about that later. And Elliott Sadler, who's won a bunch of races this season in the Phillips 66 machine. 5th row, Scott Legacy, the road racer from Florida in car number 22. And Phil Parsons in the Channel Lock Chevrolet. Your 6th row here today, we'll have Mike Dillon in the Detroit Gasket 72. Robert Presley in the Sunoco machine, the 47. 7th row, Mike McLaughlin from upstate New York in the 34. That's the Royal Oak Chevrolet. Matt Kenseth from Wisconsin in the Kraft Singles car. 8th row, Terry Labonte in the Bear Chevrolet, the 5 machine. And the defending series champion starts 16th today, Randy LaJoie from Norwalk, Connecticut, the Phoenix Chevrolet. Your 9th row, Steve Park, the AC Delco Chevrolet from the Earnhardt shops. And the 37 of Mark Green. Jeff Fuller starts the 45 alongside Jason Keller in row 10. 11th row is Hermie Sadler and Ed Barrier in the 77 today. The 12th row is Randy Porter in the 48. Elton Sawyer in the 38. He was 9th back here in June. Row 13, Glenn Allen Jr. and Ron Barfield in the Bill Elliott machine. 14th row, Michael Waltrip and Dennis Setzer in the Lance Snacks car. 15th row today, Stevie Reeves, the Big A Auto Parts machine, and Todd Bodine coming from 30th spot today. 16th row, young Lyndon Amick and Shane Hall in the Lux Foods car. 17th row, have Dale Shaw in the James Finch number 4 and Mark Crow in the 80. 18th row, Tim Zock. Guy used to be a fabricator for many of these teams, and John Preston in the 89 car. Hal Browning, veteran late model competitor from Delaware in the 46. And the 82 of Kevin Grubb will be in the 19th row. Your 20th row, Tracy Leslie had to take the provisional in the Hensley machine. Jeff Crow in the 56, also a provisional. To round out the field today, Danny Edwards in the Lumar Films number 7 and Joy McCarthy in the Rhetoric 41. Your AutoZone race analysis today will go 200 miles here at Dover, Delaware. 42 cars will go for nearly $400,000. Harry Gant set the race record back in 1991. Quick check on pit road. Here's Steve Burns.
Now here's some pre-race strategy as a team tries to win a championship. In the NASCAR Busch Series, the top 10 in points get their choice of pits. Now Randy LaJoie and Steve Parker way down towards turn 1. Todd Bodine, he's right here at the start-finish line for 2 reasons. One, he cannot get blocked in on a pit stop. There's an empty space here. And the other reason is, if he has a problem, he's caught up in a wreck, has a mechanical problem, he can go right down here and get some work done. So again, some pre-race strategy as Todd Bodine tries to catch Randy LaJoie.
1 year ago in this race, Ricky Craven jumped off from the pole and led 116 laps. He's your outside pole sitter here today. The safety car is in. We are glad you're with us today on TNN Motorsports. Dick Trickle will lead him to the flag. He has one Busch Series win in 1997, maybe 2. We are underway.
Boy, Trickle and Craven got a great jump. And look at Craven. I mean, he just shot around Trickle. I don't know what happened to him. Something seemed to be holding Trickle back a little here.
Out of turn 2 and down the back stretch for the first time. There's Trickle sitting in second spot.
You know, I'm not sure he didn't miss a gear or something because Craven just shot around him.
It is very fast here at Dover. If you've ever been here to witness a race at the Monster Mile, you do yourself a favor to come and do that, because for a mile racetrack, these cars build up incredible speed, nearly 150 miles an hour per lap. Look at LePage here, coming right up behind Trickle.
Yeah, the 88 there, that's Kevin LePage. You see him going under Dick Trickle, going down into turn 3. Dick went up high. Watch how many people pass him before he gets down in line.
Joe Bessie trying to work by Trickle and take over 4th. Bessie makes the move coming out of the main straightaway.
Boy, I still think something may have happened to Trickle because he just didn't get off to a good start at all, and now he's going backwards.
Can't seem to get down on the low side. You get freight trained here in the corner.
Oh, if you're in the front and you get stuck up on the outside, you could be in the rear in a heartbeat. And I literally mean that. If you go around here so quickly, it's all in a heartbeat.
Trickle's back in 7th spot right now. Ricky Craven is your leader. He's trying to hold off Buckshot Jones there, the 00, who sits 8th. Tim Fedua up ahead a little further from Trickle, running in the 6th position. He's got Elliott Sadler right there with him. Cars up onto the back straightaway.
Sadler's an interesting guy. You know, he'll either really be dominant. Oh, we got a car off of turn 2 there. Got it going around.
Sure do. One car has spun and cracked the wall on the outside. Back to the inside. That looks like the Wayne Grubb machine, the 82 car, Kevin Grubb rather. Wayne Grubb didn't qualify for the show. Joy McCarthy, who wrecked in qualifying here yesterday, had to go to the back. They repaired the car. He goes out early as well. He was off the pace from the drop of the green. So the 82 of Kevin Grubb, the Crestar Chevrolet, into the wall coming off of turn 2.
Well, let me tell you, that's a good wreck. For here at Dover to be able to wreck and spin out and he's still driving back to the pits, he did a whale of a job somewhere.
Look at the right side, though. It's buffed the whole right side down on that car. He goes up on the outside there. You can see everybody just, oh, man, I'm telling you, just got by him there. Watch when he hits on the inside there. That's the damage to the right side of the car.
Show it to you one more time, looking back at turn 2. Tracy Leslie almost got caught up in that.
Tracy Leslie was very lucky there.
He got into it pretty hard down on that. You can't help but go down into that inside wall the way the banking is down the straightaways.
5 laps are complete. Ricky Craven will be your restart leader when we come back to Dover Downs International Speedway for the MBNA 200.
Brought to you by the more than 1,750 AutoZone stores across America. The best parts in auto parts. And by Texaco, a world of energy.
Brought to you by Gladiator and Universal Luxury Vans, the official vans of tracks, teams, and drivers throughout the NASCAR world. Call 1-800-445-2825 for a dealer near you.
7 laps are complete. This will be lap number 8. Craven. Kevin LePage is second. Bobby Labonte. Then the 6 of Joe Bessie. The 33 of Tim Fedewa. We begin lap number 9, down into 1.
Yeah, when we get a chance, I want to pick up on that restart rule change. But right now, we just watch some of this good racing going on. We don't want to get into that right now.
There's Trickle up high once again. So evidently, his handling situation hasn't improved much at all. Craven holding off LePage down into 3. Fedewa looks like he may give up a spot here to Elliott Sadler in the 29. This is for 5th. Gives Sadler 5th spot. Here comes Trickle back inside. So Dick Trickle gets back on the move. He gets up to 6th.
Well, what's happened now, everybody's had a little chance to really feel the car out, and even a loose condition, you can change your driving style in the corner and tighten the car up somewhat.
Yeah, that's what a veteran like Dick Trickle can do. He said, okay, I got a loose car. I got to drive in a little easier, get on a little quicker, and readjust. He will adjust to the car, not necessarily the car adjust to him.
On board with Phil Parsons, rolling through turns 3 and 4. Parsons at the moment trying to get up toward the front of the field. He's sitting 9th.
Push, Dylan. Rick, you got that hanging over your head all the time. Man, I don't want to get back in that traffic. Right now, he's running right at the opening spot there where even if he is a little loose, he can work with it. He don't want to get back in there with cars all around him. That makes it worse.
As we watch Phil Parsons pick up another spot there, he takes Mike McLaughlin underneath the 00 Buckshot Jones. There's a guy, Phil Parsons, Buddy Baker, who needs a win here today.
Absolutely. He knows that Channel Lock will not be returning to his team next year. Although he's been in 4th most of the year in the points, Phil has had a little tough luck this year and hadn't been in the winner's circle. But I tell you, he's a potential winner anywhere he goes.
Randy LaJoie on the move, too. He's gotten by Buckshot Jones, who was 10th last time by, but he's gotten shuffled back several spots. Steve Park coming up behind Mark Green as well. Your leader continues to be Craven over LePage.
And Trickle, he just passed Elliott Sadler there to go into 5th place. What's happened, too, is the tire pressure come up a little bit. That'll change the handling characteristics of that race car some.
Let's head down to pit road. Glenn Jarrett.
Well, in addition to tire pressure, Darrell, also the Goodyear engineers told me that it takes about 3 or 4 laps to build a proper heat up in this tire to make the thing adhere to the racetrack a little bit. So maybe we're seeing a combination of all those things, but he's definitely on the way back to the front now.
To pick up a little bit on that, this tire is the same tire we run in Charlotte, and we run it at Atlanta. And those are 185-mile-an-hour racetracks. That tells you how hard this track is on tires.
For you race fans that are watching for the first time, the 22 there in that group right there, the Scott Lagacy in the 22 car, and doing a good job. He's used to be the driver on the Rick Hendricks truck team, and doing a good job today.
This is a battle for 10th spot. The 2 Base Motorsports teammates, point leader Randy LaJoie there in the 74, trying to get by his teammate Tim Fedewa in the 33. They apparently will have a 3rd teammate next year. The 96 of Stevie Reeves ducks onto pit road. Chad Little.
Well, the reason they had to come in is he jumped the restart, and the way the NASCAR rules work, you have 3 laps, and you're given a black flag from NASCAR to come in. At the end of that 3rd lap, if you don't come in, then we have trouble on the front straight. The 48 cars into the wall.
Sure do. Randy Porter has spun as we watch the battle for 10th down into turn 1. Randy Porter has wrinkled up both ends of the UniFirst uniforms for the 48 car. He was running back in 28th spot, so we'll have our second caution of the afternoon here at Dover, Delaware.
Yeah, he got just a little bit of help. He was coming up off before there, an awful tight race, and I didn't see who was behind him, but somebody nerfed him just a tad there. Got him going around.
To show you one of our AutoZone Tech Facts now, brought to you by the more than 1,725 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. Here's Glenn Jarrett.
You know, we've often heard that heat is the enemy of most race cars, and in most cases that is true. There is one case where it definitely is not, and that concerns engine oil temperature. The crews try to keep the engine oil temperature up to about 300 degrees before the car goes out on the racetrack. The way they do that, through this electric probe right here. This metal part sticks right into the top of the oil tank, which is right inside the car here, right behind the driver. It's plugged into an electrical outlet. These wires here are connected to the socket, plugs right in, keeps it warm. They've even got an oil gauge right here to monitor that. When the car goes out on the racetrack, optimum running temperature is about 260 to 280 for the oil. Well, the first thing they try to do then is to cool it down to that range by means of this forced air tube here from the outside. Forces air in right through this tube and again right into the top of the oil tank there. Fresh air simply cools it down about 20 to 40 degrees. Now, what happens to that other 20 to 40 degrees? Well, if you ask the driver, he'll tell you that that's how much hotter it makes it inside the cockpit since they moved the oil tank right behind the driver's seat.
I guess that's another version of a hot seat. Track crew continuing to work on the main straightaway here at Dover. We should be ready to restart in just a couple of moments. 19 laps in. Ricky Craven's in command. We'll be back to Dover in a moment. Back at Dover, Delaware, the MBNA 200 for the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series ready to restart.
Okay,
Safety cars in. 21 laps complete. Ricky Craven through the gears. You hear the radio traffic. We are ready to go. Joe Bessie takes a look to the inside. Bobby Labonte is second there. Kevin LePage is third. Everybody settles down to a single file run except for Steve Park.
Well, that's not a good place to be. I wouldn't want to get on the outside there right now if I could help it.
Park running in 13th spot. There's the battle between LaJoie and right in front of him, Tim Fedowa. Meantime, looks like Bobby Labonte starting to put some pressure on Ricky Craven for the lead as they come over the stripe.
I got a feeling 85 is going to get the black flag here.
You're talking about Bobby Labonte in second there. He seems to have that car really dialed in well. And Ricky Craven was complaining of a loose condition at the very first part of the race. But it looks to me now that the cars come to him now. These three cars are very evenly matched there. Kevin LePage hanging on in third there looks very good too.
Clay Jarrett, what are they saying about Craven's car on pit road?
Well, buddy, you hit the nail on the head again, man. Ricky's saying that's still loose all the way around the racetrack. I wonder if that means down the straightaway, too. Also, we talked about Trickle. His car's tightened up a little bit. In fact, he says push him a little bit coming off. Tim Fedowa is fighting Randy LaJoie for ninth. He's loose. And we mentioned Scott Lagasse, too. He is big-time loose. That's why he's dropping through the field like a rock through water.
As we watch your NASCAR timing and scoring presented by MCI at the top of the screen, Elliott Sadler in sixth. We ride with Dick Trickle up in the pack. He's up to fourth right now.
You can see he was turning 8,000 down the front straightaway there. That camera really picked up nicely on Dick Trickle. That's about what they turn these 9-1 engines. No point in turning them more than that. That's all the power you have.
And let me make a point here that Trickle's car is now tight. It's pushing. You see how fast it is? Drivers talk about, man, you got to be loose to go fast. The driver can't drive a car that's loose. You get it tightened up, get the front end pushing a little bit, he can turn left. Then he can get in the gas, he can go.
Looking at the battle here for 12th on back. Tim Fedowa is shown 12th. Robert Presley behind him in 13th. You have Jason Keller there in the 57 and 14th, who may be joining that base team next year, according to what some of the garage area chatter's been this week. Matt Kenseth, another spot back in the 17th car. Fedowa's got his mirrors full of Presley's machine at the moment. A little further back in the back, we see the 00 there. Buckshot Jones is back in 21st spot. Now Presley now looking to the inside down into turn one. Can't get by that time. Looks as though Fedowa's having trouble holding his car down, too.
Well, we've run just enough laps now that the car should be what you see. Oh, we got a car in the wall over there. I don't know who it was. 56.
Looks like Jeff Crow in the 56 got the wall, and he's got the fender peeled back on the right front corner of that car, so he drops down onto pit road. Got a look at Buckshot Jones there a moment ago. He's announced some big plans for next year, but at the moment, Steve Burns, as we watch Jeff Crow come to the pits, Buckshot Jones backing up. What's going on there?
Yeah, like everybody else, Rick, he has a loose condition. Now, last time they were here in May, Buckshot finished 17th. Crew Chief Ricky Pearson made a few adjustments to the car. They thought it was fine as you see Fedowa dropping back. But Buckshot just on the radio, how did the car get this loose from practice yesterday? Ricky Pearson said, just hang on until we can fix it.
Wow, he's got the conditions that a lot of people seem to have. We saw Tim Fedowa almost get on the brakes, it looked like there as many drivers went by him.
Look at Jason Keller in the 57 there. He is really working Presley over in the 47 car there. Matt Kenseth in the 17 there. These three cars have really been battling it out.
Battle for 12th spot. Keller's 13th. Presley is 12th right now. Kenseth 14th. And then right behind them in 15th spot, the 45 Jeff Fuller.
Most of the Winston Cup drivers are complaining about the track being real loose, and that's why it's so slow. I don't know if it's, like I said, I don't know if it's tires or weather or just track itself, but that's been a problem for everybody.
You watch the lead cars come down the main straightaway, buddy?
Yeah, you can see that Kevin LePage dropped off just a little bit in the 88 car running third there as Bobby Labonte looks for the lead, but Dick Trickle has run this bunch back down, and that car is working well for him right now.
Bobby Labonte's car seems to be working better than anybody's at the moment. He takes a look inside Craven there as they head towards 3. Didn't quite have enough to get by that time. We'll see what happens as they come off the 4.
Well, Bobby Labonte's won here recently, and when you figure this track out, this concrete, the shock combination, and that's all it is, once you get the right shock combination, you're going to run good here every time you come here. And I think that's the guys that continue to run up front. Jeff Gordon, for instance.
Dick Trickle makes a move to get by the car of Kevin LePage to put Trickle up into third spot. Glenn Jarrett on pit road.
Darrell, I got a question for you. Normally, when we see the cars yesterday, they practiced. It was hot. It was sunny. Naturally, the racetrack a little slick. Today, it's cloudy, overcast, a good bit cooler, yet everybody is complaining of looseness. What's going on?
You know, Glenn, the concrete doesn't seem to be real sensitive to weather change. It seems to be more consistent, sun in, sun out. Whatever the ambient temperature is, that seems to be about what the track surface relates to. So I don't think it's like asphalt where the sun makes a huge difference.
Nothing making much of a difference now for Ricky Craven. He's been out in front since the drop of the green from the outside pole. Almost a carbon copy of what happened here 1 year ago when Craven had the pole. Led the first 116 miles. Missed the battle for fifth. Joe Bessie of the power team sixth there. Trying to hold off Phil Parsons in his Cadillac Chevrolet. Parsons has been running well, but can't get by Bessie. Meantime, Dick Trickle has really caught fire here. He's gotten by Bobby Labonte, and he's started to set sail for Craven. So Trickle seems to have found something in the combination. Bobby Labonte has dropped way off the pace here in the last lap or so. Labonte hanging on to third. Give Kevin LePage fourth spot right at this point. Joe Bessie hanging on in fifth.
This track is so sensitive to the cars changing that you can have a good car one lap and go in the next turn and feel like you're going to wreck. And all you can do from that point on is lift up out of the gas and take it easy.
Elliott Sadler just moving by Joe Bessie to take over fifth spot. So Sadler starting to catch fire as well in the Phillips 66 machine. That's down at Ridge Shop.
When you have a surface like this where it's always got the tires in motion, you create a tremendous amount of air pressure buildup. And with that air pressure buildup comes a very, very uncomfortable feeling, much like driving down the road with too much air in your street car tires. And that affects the way the car feels to the driver. He has to adjust to that.
Kevin LePage in fourth. This is the battle for seventh on back. Bessie, you've got Mike Dillon, you've got Mike McLaughlin in there, and Randy LaJoy in the 74 up from 16th starting spot. LaJoy now starting to work on McLaughlin as they come out of turn two.
Just a second ago, Mike Dillon in the 72 car, the second in the shot there, really got sideways coming up out of the corner. But that's getting around this racetrack. You'll do that 100 times in the race today.
It's been fun to watch his progress the second half of this season. He's been very fast at a lot of these Busch Series events. Hasn't cracked through the score victory yet, but I think his time may be coming here shortly. Here's LaJoy trying to move up to ninth. McLaughlin closes the door as they come off a two. Bessie is seventh. The 72 is eighth. Then we've got McLaughlin in ninth. LaJoy back there in 10th. Almost 40 laps complete here today. Up front, it's Craven out in front. Trickle trying to track him down. He was the pole sitter today, but the Ray Bestis machine of Ricky Craven has been the fastest of them all here in the early going at Dover Downs International Speedway. Back with more of our Busch Series coverage in a moment. Trouble for the driver who was second, Dick Trickle, in the Duralube Chevrolet, way off the paces. They came off turn 4 the last time. Trickle trying to score his second win of the season. Glenn Jarrett, what's gone wrong with the 64?
Brian Schaefer, the crew chief, tells us it's an ignition problem. He's trying to switch to the other box, not having too much luck right now. That's a shame. He had caught the leader, Ricky Craven, and I thought was going to make a move by him, but tough luck for Dick Trickle.
Yeah, I don't think he'll make it back. It's going to be close.
Trickle had rough luck here back in June. He was the pole sitter then, too, but finished 37th after wrecking 72 miles into that race. Looks like his afternoon today has not improved a great deal. So that puts Kevin LePage up into second in the 88. Bobby Labonte moves to third now in the 44. Everybody still chasing the deuce of Ricky Craven. Phil Parsons in the 10 has quietly climbed up to fourth spot. And Elliott Sadler rounds out the first five. Trickle is on the pit road. Darrell, what do you see?
Well, that's a good lesson right there. Trickle went dead right here coming down the start-finish line. He coasted all the way around this racetrack and all the way back to his pit. So you got to have a car that coasts good if you want to be fast.
It can come in handy at some time.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Resistance, if it won't roll by itself, takes more horsepower to pull it.
Bobby Labonte in the Shell machine up to third spot now. Kevin LePage has gotten by him. So Bobby Labonte is still trying to find the right combination and be fast enough to get to the front. Dick Trickle is on pit road. Glenn Jarrett is there. What are they doing, Glenn?
Well, they're kind of scratching their heads right now, Rick. They're looking up under the thing. They haven't found anything. One guy's inside checking the ignition boxes, but right now they're as perplexed as we are. They really don't have a clue. It just shut off.
Yeah, probably camshaft or a rotor button. One of the two, if they can't find anything right away.
Those are some of the signals of an engine that is not going to refire this afternoon. Here's a battle for second spot down the main straightaway. LePage is second. then the 44, and then the 10. Second, third, and fourth. We look a little bit further back. Mike Dillon is 7th there in the 72. Joe Bessie right in front of him 6th. And you've got McLaughlin in 8th spot. LaJoie is now 9th.
You see LaJoie there. He's in the points right now. He's just riding around out there right now, stocking up, talking to his crew chief what he needs to do on the first stop, and not doing anything stupid right now. He's protecting a good points lead. Randy LaJoie probably has matured more than any race car driver on this circuit.
Yeah, we're kind of in the Dover grind right now. You get all squared away, settle down. The cars are spread out all over the racetrack, and unless somebody gets really bad up out of the groove, we're just going to see them putting in laps for a little while here, trying to get to that first pit stop.
LaJoie's gained 7 spots in the 51 laps we've run so far, and he's being patient sitting there on the back deck with Mike McLaughlin as they come off full.
And if you watch that 74 car, it's right down on the bottom of the racetrack where he is every time when he runs.
Oh,
Scott Legacy's pest-off machine.
Yeah, that's
22 is cut down the left front.
Yeah, he broke something. Looked like an A-arm or something broke.
Legacy brings it directly out of pit road. He's at the 4th turn and the pit road, so he was in the right spot anyway.
Like you say, Darrell, that'll take more than tires to fix that one. They need to get on that left front over there.
Let's check in with Glenn Jarrett.
Well, guys, we're talking about the positions that Randy LaJoie has gained, and he has made a great run toward the front, picking up 7 spots. His closest challenger in the points race, Todd Bodine, as we noted, started 30th. He has moved his way up to 21st, picking up 9 spots, but he's still got a long way to go.
LaJoie's working on it, though, as we get through the first quarter of the race here this afternoon. Scott Legacy still down on pit road, still working on the left front corner of the 22. LaJoie just biding his time. Looked like he wanted to make a move on McLaughlin last time, but
yeah, he did.
He did a second ago. He put the nose of the car right up to the quarter panel, and all of a sudden said, no, he may not know I'm here.
Yeah, that's good patience.
And we told you at the top of the broadcast, Todd Bodine is 179 points back of LaJoie in second. Todd started way back in the pack today, 30th. He's got a long way to go. He's making a little bit of progress. He's up to 21st, so he's gained some ground, but not a tremendous amount. LaJoie, meantime, picks up a spot. He moves to 8th.
Darrell, just exactly what you said. When you have a good race car, you can use patience, because sooner or later, McLaughlin kept getting higher and higher. Once he moved just enough to get the nose of the car under, LaJoie made the pass.
Yeah, well, when you can sit there behind the guy and you put that fender up alongside of him every once in a while, he'll start watching where you are more than he will where he's going, and you'll go right past.
LaJoie's about to make a move, it looks like, on Mike Dillon as we take a look at our score and summary brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running.
Let me just pick up a little bit on it. You can't stand somebody running around on your back bumper here. It worries you to death, because you got to have a little room for error here. And you know, if you got to get up out of the corner, the throttle, like off one of these corners, guy's right on your bumper, he taps you, you're out of here. So you've got to give yourself a little bit of room, not only in front of the guy you're following, but behind you as well.
As important as it is to stay low here, it looks like Mike Dillon's car starting to push up the racetrack a little in the corners as well.
Well, we've gone 57 laps, and tire wear is going to start being a factor here before long, because we don't get great tire wear here, particularly early on.
This is the battle for 7th spot as we look back at Steve Park in the 3 car, and the 57 of Jason Keller for 10th and 11th. Back up to the LaJoie battle with Mike Dillon right now.
Here he comes.
Looks down low, and he'll make the pass out of 4.
Clear. Made it look easy. Just waited on Dillon to move out of the groove just enough to get the nose of the car under and just passed him up. Now he's got already 2-car length lead on him.
Yeah, when you can turn to the bottom of the racetrack in the throttle, a lot of guys can get it down there, but they can't get back in the gas. When you can turn it down and nail the throttle, you're going to come up off the corner a lot quicker than the guy in front of you that's working the throttle a little bit.
Ricky Craven is your leader, working on the Shane Hall machine to put him a lap down. Craven's been in command since the drop of the green. 6 top 5s and 11 starts here in the Busch Series. Maybe today will be number 7.
Brought to you by the more than 1,750 AutoZone stores across America. The best parts in auto parts.
Rick Benjamin, Darrell Waltrip, Buddy Baker, Steve Burns, Glenn Jarrett, and Chad Little on pit road. And Randy LaJoie is on a roll, Buddy Baker.
He is that for the first time today. He's on the pylon here in the infield. He's moved up to 5th place already. So Randy's got this car, as Darrell pointed out just a second ago, inches off that black line, right around the bottom of the racetrack. Car is doing everything that Randy LaJoie wants it to do.
He got Bessie in turn 4, and he got Elliott Sadler down here in turn 1, so he got 2 cars in 1 lap there.
Score LaJoie 5th. Steve Burns, is that it, or has he got more of that car?
Well, Rick, as I said before the race, Randy LaJoie loves this race car, and interestingly enough, this is the only track where they run that car. He won twice here last year with it. They finished 3rd here in May, and he's trying to convince his team to take this car to Charlotte because it really hauls the mail.
I can add to that, that car was also a winner here with Johnny Benson, so it's got a good track record.
Big trouble here is Jeff Fuller's machine, the 45. Dale Shaw involved. Michael Waltrip is involved. Tim Zock, 63, and Tracy Leslie. So big crash coming off turn 4 on lap 70 here at Dover, Delaware. We're under caution for the 3rd time this afternoon. Shaw's machine with heavy damage to the rear section of the car. Bodywork all torn away. Glenn Jarrett on pit road.
Well, you were talking about LaJoie being on a roll. This man was too, Dick. You had an awfully fast race car. What happened?
Well, what happens, we broke a camshaft, and there's a gear on the back of the camshaft that drives the distributor, so it broke off in the backside, and the distributor quit turning, but you couldn't run it anyhow because it's been all valves. I think we had a winning combination here. The car was great. We lined up a good crew. I mean, we were ready to win a race, and, you know, it just seemed like bad luck gets in there. You just got to get better camshafts, I guess.
Okay, better luck next time. Let's go back upstairs to Rick.
Meantime, big problems on the main straightaway. You saw the 45 of Jeff Fuller get turned around, and he caught up Michael Waltrip against the inside retaining wall. There's the 95 of Tim Zock, rookie driver, and the yellow machine there, the Dreams Not Drugs car. Dale Shaw on pit road with the 4. The James Finch crew goes to work trying to take care of some of the body damage here. This a major wreck, our first real one of the day. And again, it looked like coming off turn 4, Darrell Waltrip, that somebody just got loose and Jeff Fuller got turned around.
You know what happens? I know this is going to be hard to explain. I probably shouldn't even try, but the cars, the longer they run, the tighter they get. And you come off the corner with the things really turned hard left, trying to make that corner stay down on the bottom. And the front end will take off, and when it does, it'll catch and the back end will come around. You got to get out of the throttle. I think that's what's happening to some of these guys.
Leaders, meantime, on to pit road. Steve Burns.
And Ricky Craven is in. They don't think they're going to make any chassis adjustments. Right side tires going on. Phil Parsons spinning right in front of them. They will not make any adjustments and take 4 tires. They will also now change all 4 tires on Ricky Craven's car. Let's go to Chad Little.
Thank you, Steve. I'm down here with the 34 and the 36 car of Frank Cece's. The 34 car, we're just going to do 4 tires and a small wedge adjustment. They're a little bit loose. Now, the 36 car of Todd Bodine, they're extremely loose. They're going to do 4 tires, take out a rubber out of the right front. And how about to you, Glenn?
Well, down at this end, guys, Bobby Labonte is blocked in by Tim Tito when they pulled in a little bit of an angle. Labonte got 4 tires, had a chassis adjustment made to the left rear. Kevin LePage in the 88 car also got 4 tires, and they made a track bar adjustment. This is the first time, obviously, that they've had a chance to adjust these cars, so everybody making wholesale changes, trying to tighten these race cars up.
Jeff Fuller getting tangled up there with Michael Waltrip. Michael came through and looked like he tried to get down on the inside, and this is blocked off for him. We'll show you how this happened. This is from the view of Stevie Reeves inside the Big A Auto Parts machine. There's Fuller down low.
Yeah, he gets loose down there, gets sideways, turns it around.
That's Elton Sawyer there, the car that first car that goes by.
There's Dale Shaw's 4. Tim Zock in the yellow machine there, the 95. They got tangled up at the same time.
Look at Tracy Leslie.
Where does Michael? Oh, he's already in there. I see.
He's caught on the inside. He looked like he tried to sneak by low and couldn't get room.
Yeah, Tracy Leslie, he's dancing all over the place.
Second time today that he's dodged a serious bullet.
Absolutely, but he was very lucky there.
Yeah. Got the rollback out to take the Laughlin car, the 45, the Hunter Specialties machine, off the racetrack. So it's going to take us a few more moments. Let's head back to pit road. Glenn Jarrett.
Well, guys, I'm standing by with Bill Baumgartner, the owner of the car that Randy LaJoie drives. And, Bill, you guys kind of kicked some tail on that pit stop. You got to be proud of those guys. He came in, got 4 tires fuel, and went out first.
Well, Glenn, I didn't hear a word you said with this noise in the background. But since you're here talking to the car owner, you must be talking about that Base Motorsports pit stop. Buddy, that is awesome. These guys really just now are focusing on the championship. We've been good all year, but it's going to be awesome from here on out. These guys are great.
Well, I'll tell you what, LaJoie has a history of doing well at this racetrack. He might be tough the rest of the day.
All right. Steve Burns also on pit road.
Bad luck for Phil Parsons. He came into this round of pit stops running 5th. He's now 13th. Now, a lot of fans want to know how the teams get the tires on so quickly. These lug nuts are glued on. Well, all these lug nuts on the front 2 tires, all of them came off Phil Parsons' car. That's why he lost 8 positions. Let's go to Chad Little.
Thank you, Steve. I'm down here with the crew chief for Joe Bessie, who's having a great run today. They're currently in 5th place, and he's been up there all day long. I just wanted to ask you, was Joe saying anything about the car? Can you stay up there the rest of the day?
Yeah, the car started out just a little bit loose, and now it's just about neutral and stuff, so we adjusted some air pressure.
Well, that's good. Always like to point that out because it's important for these guys that struggle week to week, and Joe's having a really good run today.
He's been strong. He's been at the front of the field just about all afternoon. Show you how some of the lead drivers fared during the pit stop cycle there. Ricky Craven dropped back one spot. Devin LePage lost 5 positions. Bobby Labonte lost a bunch more. Randy LaJoie was really the big winner. I said it didn't look like he had pitted. Obviously, he did pit, but they got a real quick stop. He was so quick that I blinked and he was like, stop laughing at me now. We'll be back at Dover with 125 to go.
I don't have my own TV show on TNN Motorsports yet, but until then, you can go online now and get my view on this year's championship battle with Todd Bodine at www.country.com. Check it out.
Our website, your personal source for all things country and all things in motorsports, too. And Randy LaJoie put the keyboard away, and he is performing masterfully at the wheel today. We're going to show you now this pit stop that I didn't even notice the first time around. You had to bring the tape back to show me again.
Yeah. Go ahead, buddy.
Okay, Randy LaJoie is right here, you guys, in the #1 spot. Now, watch him when he takes off there. That's the advantage of being in that first pit stall. He beats Ricky Craven. You could see Ricky Craven was actually moving before he was. But having that wonderful place at the end of pit road means a lot.
Yep. And he's cashed in to lead. 77 laps on the board, still in caution. Time for some more information brought to you today by Fields Faucets, the do-it-for-yourself faucet.
At just about every track that we come to, the crew chiefs and the mechanics are concerned about getting the car fast. But here at Dover, Butch Enders, who's Tim Fedewa's crew chief, says you work on the driver more than you do the car. How so, Butch?
It's definitely true. This is one of those speedways that when we get to the track, the concrete surface is usually dusty and chalky, and we get started out there in the morning, and the car will get loose on the driver, and then he gets real unsure of himself. So we start adjusting the car, get him dialed out, and then we get rubber on the racetrack, and then the car's wrong again, so you chase the car all day. So here, it's one of those speedways that I really try to focus on the driver and get him to realize that there's no rubber out there, and, you know, we work more with him than we do really with the chassis setup here, at least for me.
I like to be talked to and, you know, hey, you're doing good job, you know, try doing this a little better. And that helps me personally, but a lot of people don't like to be talked to at all, so I think it's kind of a preference deal.
A head game.
Yeah, but you know what? That's exactly what everybody needs to listen to what he's saying, because that's the way this racetrack is. You can spook yourself, and it takes a while to get over.
Ready for the restart here, and here's the new rule that's been put in place this weekend. The lead cars on the outside, the lap cars on the inside, just like in Winston Cup competition. LaJoie brings them to the flag, and we're underway again. 79 laps on the board. This begins lap number 80.
Let me just say this. The reason they're doing this, now you see what happened? The guys on the inside, there he goes right by LaJoie. But the reason they're doing this is because they want this series to be more like Winston Cup. If these guys are going to move up to Winston Cup, they need to race like Winston Cup. Ooh, 3 wide.
That's like Winston Cup.
That's exactly like Winston Cup.
Maybe a little bit better. They were 3 wide going down into turn 3. You don't see the Winston Cuppers do that very often, but you can see right now you're riding with Dennis Setzer, the hand signal. We do not have any other way to tell a guy what you're going to do other than hand signal.
I tell you, the biggest difference there, them guys went 3 wide and made it. I ain't seen Cup guys do that real well here lately.
Standing us on the back straightaway. Mike Dillon trying to get inside Setzer. Setzer back in 28th spot. Dillon, meantime, up toward the front of the show. Has been for much of the day. Still on board with Setzer. And with the 72, Dillon down low. Working now on the Pro machine. He's got Steve Parkwright with him as well. As they battle it out for 9th and 10th. Park in the 3 is 10th. Dillon in the 72 is 9th. And Randy LaJoie still leading, but he's got Ricky Craven right there with him. Elliott Sadler joining the fray to make it a 3-way dog fight. Ricky goes up a little high that time.
Yeah, he ran it in a little hard trying to get up under LaJoie.
This kid in the 29 here, Elliott Sadler, reminds me of a guy that started in Franklin, Tennessee. And all of a sudden, all the guys that were running up front said, who is this young kid that's moved in here and running us so hard? And it wasn't very long before we get to look at the trunk lid on that car.
Yeah.
I tell you, Elliott's got a tremendous amount of ability for the amount of time he's spent on the Grand National.
Got a car around here. It's LePage, I think.
Kevin LePage in trouble. He's been running up in the top 2 or 3, and LePage spins and belts the wall, and we've got several other cars involved. Mark Crow Phil Parsons caught up in it. A tough break indeed for Parsons, who was up front. Mark Green is there. And LePage hard into the inside retaining wall. So we're caution again on lap 83, fourth time this afternoon.
Golly, they just ran all over. I mean, Phil was just slowing down and took a whale of a shot.
LePage drops the window net, so he's okay. Pulls the gloves off. Not happy, I'm sure. He got running sixth with that.
Yeah, he got up out of the groove down there, coming off the turn 4, and just backed it up in the fence.
We take you on board, and we take a look at the Mark Pro machine. His car into the wall very hard. Lots of damage to the front end on both sides. So we're under caution once again. Parsons caught up in that hard wreck when Kevin LePage went way wide coming out of 4. Let's take another look.
Yeah, here's LePage. He gets it sideways back here in the middle of 3 and 4. Round she goes.
No help. That was self-inflicted there. You can see him bounce off the outside wall. Now, it's not too bad here. Steve Park goes by in the 3 right on the bottom there. But everybody behind him's putting their hand up, and a few didn't check up, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
So the field under caution and the cleanup underway coming off of turn 4. Show it to you from a slightly different look as LePage bounces off the wall. Almost caught Steve Park on the way by.
Yeah, see the 80 car there. He just, I mean, he never slowed down. He just, he got him a double. He got him a double shot.
Look at Robert Presley.
Oh, man.
He and Buckshot Jones almost got it. Bobby Labonte makes contact there. So one of the other contenders today with problems.
Robert Presley got by about 6 inches on each side of his car in the 47. You'll see it come by in a second on the bottom.
37's around backwards. He gets up in the fence.
Look at Robert Presley right here. Oh, that's as close as you can come. He hit the inside wall just a little bit.
Yeah. And Bobby Labonte wasn't going 10 mile an hour, but he couldn't get stopped. But he still got a hose spoiler.
He does. Phil Parsons with the fuel filler neck hanging loose there. We'll have to see what that means for the Channel Lock team. Kevin LePage goes out on the hook. We'll be back at Dover after this.
MBNA credit cards with Darrell Walters' picture on. They're pretty useful. I use mine occasionally.
You do use yours a lot?
They're good. You can put them on the back door. Nothing will come up there.
Get all the information you want, not necessarily about the Darrell Waltrip credit card, on www.nascar.com. It's your online link to all NASCAR Winston Cup and Busch Series and Truck Series information. And all the information about this weekend's events here at Dover, Delaware. We're about ready to restart. Stevie Reeves down low. Randy LaJoie will have the restart lead on the outside. As we have 91 laps complete, 109 to go, almost to halfway at Dover. Safety car is in. Quick cleanup by the track crew here. LaJoie leads him back to the green, and we are underway.
Boy, Stevie Reeves didn't get much of a restart.
Let that sensor go.
Sensor got by,
LaJoie, meantime, scoots off to about a 3-car length lead over the deuce of Craven as we watch the field sorted out coming out of 2 here.
I'm trying to remember if that's a legal pass or not. He passed him on the left, and I'm not sure if he can do that. But maybe since he didn't go for some reason, they'll let him slide.
Elliott Sadler in the 29 up to 3rd spot. He has been very strong. I think you might see Sadler start to make a move toward the front here at any moment, too.
Well, the competition for the lead is thinning out a little bit, you know. Ricky Craven has been there quite a bit, and, of course, LaJoie, and hadn't had a lot of other people lead the race since Trickle fell out.
LaJoie is out in front in the 74. Craven is second. Quarter of a second the gap there. Even less of a gap back to 3rd. Elliott Sadler in the 29 doing a nice job once again for Diamond Ridge Motorsports. They've been very strong in Sadler's full-time rookie season. In 5 spots already.
Yeah, and of course we're not quite halfway in this race yet, so still got a lot of racing to do.
There's Elliott Sadler looking to take over second place. Couldn't quite make it. You can see Ricky Craven in the 2-car there, really going down the back straightaway quick. But I think Elliott Sadler is the fastest car right now if he can make the move on the inside.
Sadler 5th in Busch Series points. Now, Ricky Craven's got an interesting situation going here. He's been running part-time in the Busch Series the last couple of years. He's decided not to do that next year, to focus full-time on Winston Cup. Darrell, it's a little different approach than a lot of drivers.
Well, you know what happens? It happened to me. It happened to Earnhardt. You have to put such an effort into your Winston Cup car on Sunday. You got to be 110%. You can't take 50% of it away on Saturday and expect to be that good on Sunday. So I think all drivers that run these races on Saturday are really jeopardizing their performance on Sunday, and the car owners are starting to realize that.
But Mark Martin, Jeff Burton, and others say it's good practice to run Saturday.
Yeah, they just want to get out there and play, I guess. I don't know. I personally, if I was a car owner and I had a driver like Mark Martin, I'd say, Mark, you're going to run Winston Cup. We'll put somebody else in your car.
Craven deciding that this is going to be it for his own Busch Series team at the end of 1997. Take a little look further back. This is the battle for fourth. Mike McLaughlin up to fourth. The Royal Oak Charcoal Machine. Right behind him, Joe Bessie in the 6th car. They're duking it out. Bessie's been up front most of the way here, too.
Yeah, he has. He's had a great day. He's been running up near the front. Hadn't had any problems at all.
That battle a couple of seconds back behind the lead group of 3 cars. LaJoie and Craven and Sadler have got about a 10 or 12 car length advantage on this battle before.
But Rick, you think about, let's pick up a little bit on that, what we're talking about. You think about a guy going out here running 200 miles today, and if this was a 500 mile like it usually is, I mean, just think, how could you be as sharp on Sunday if you're out here riding around for 200 miles today, particularly if you're running up front and being competitive and driving hard? You got to zap yourself a little bit. I don't care how young you are or how good you are.
I'm going to argue with him after we get off the air.
Does it make you tired?
No, well,
darn right it makes you tired.
I think you learn things that you can apply to tomorrow. I know it's different type cars, but still everything works a little bit. Darrell did it for years, acquired the knowledge he had to have for the speedways. I don't think it's totally a negative.
Well, I heard Jeff Burton say, you know, it doesn't help them with their car on Sunday, but it helps him. It gives him laps around the racetrack. Maybe a young guy trying to, you know, gain the experience in a hurry, that might be a good way to do it.
As we look at your Stanley mid-race report, brought to you by Stanley Tools. 1843, Stanley has been helping people do things right. 2 leaders so far here on the day, and 2 lead changes. Randy LaJoie, the 2nd leader. 4 cautions so far for 24 laps, and we've had 23 cars on the lead lap to pass several tours. 11 cars behind the wall already. Only 31 remaining in competition. Buckshot Jones in the 00, a driver many thought would be very strong here today. He's had trouble getting up toward the front. He started to come back. He's back in the top 10. Steve Burns, what are they saying down there?
Well, Rick, early on we said that Buckshot was real loose. He started the race 7th. He dropped back to 27th, and as he said, he's now 9th. Crew Chief Ricky Pearson said they didn't make a big adjustment because once he fell back, he started to get the car more stable. So they made just a slight air pressure adjustment, and now Ricky Pearson watches as Buckshot Jones is back in the top 10.
Well, they're all around here. Just gains another spot there, too.
Yeah, and you look at the racetrack. Now, if you're real astute, you notice when we started this race, the thing was white. It didn't have any rubber on it at all. That's a loose racetrack. But as these cars have run, they put rubber down and the track tightens up. And so the track will be much tighter by the end of the day.
And Buckshot seems to have hit on the setup, at least for now. He has gained a spot quickly. He is on the charge, heading toward Matt Kenseth for 7th spot. As we look at the leaders, meantime, Randy LaJoie is all alone out in front. Out of 2nd back, Ricky Craven in the 2 car rides in 2nd spot. Elliott Sadler is 3rd. Steve Park rounds out the first 10 at Dover. Remember that Opryland USA is the official destination of NASCAR. More information on Opryland is yours at area code 615-889-6611, Monday through Friday. We're back live at Dover Downs International Speedway. Rick Benjamin, Darrell Walter, Buddy Baker with you topside today. Glenn Jarrett, Steve Burns, and Chad Little on pit road for us. As we watch the battle for 6th and 7th and 8th spot. Matt Kenseth in the 17 is 6th. Buckshot Jones is up to 7th now, the 00, getting by Keller in the 57. That shuffles him back to 8th. So Buckshot's crew, Ricky Pearson, apparently making the right decision on tire pressures a few moments ago, and he is starting to roll toward the front.
Yeah, you know, we saw him. I've seen him run good here before. He got a lap down here one race, and he stayed in front of the leaders almost the whole race. So we know he's got the car to run good here.
Well, we know the car is good because Pearson has had winners here before, so he knows the setups for the racetrack, even though it was blacktop. He's always run well here. Buckshot in a 00 there. He's getting experience right along. We got an announcement the other day that he's moving up and doing 8 races in Winston Cup next year. He has a new sponsor in Busch Grand National, and he'll do all the races there. This kid's going to be one of the stars later on.
Yeah, he's got one problem. We were over at Sambo's last night eating, and when he came in, they carded him. Now, he doesn't look like he's old enough to be driving this race car.
Buckshot Jones in 7th spot. We saw Matt Kenseth move by Joe Bessie there a moment ago to tick up and move into 5th spot. So Buckshot Jones plans to move up to the big leagues of NASCAR. He told us about his plans.
We've hired 2 more guys on. Over winter, we're going to get 2 more guys because I know when we move up, try to run all these races, we're going to need a lot more help. And we want to go at 110%. We don't want to be behind the 8 ball. So that's why we're trying to get the Cup cars done this year and have all our Busch cars also done so we can focus on the racing and not worry about building the cars next year.
it'll be part of a family team. They're not going out and joining another team or anything like that. He's keeping it in-house.
Yeah, you know, he was a football star. He must have been fast as lightning because he's certainly not very big, but I bet he can outrun lightning.
Toughest buckshot there as he moved by Joe Bessie,
Yeah, he just went by Joe Bessie like a buckshot. Load of buckshot.
Like a good load, yeah. Give him 6. He's firing on all, both barrels, I guess, to be safe to say this afternoon.
Yeah, we better move on and talk about somebody else.
Kenseth and Mike McLaughlin now. This is for 4th spot. McLaughlin 4th, and he looks as though he's developing some problems. We've been talking about possibly changing track conditions with the sun popping out. McLaughlin going up high in the corners last couple of laps.
Yeah, he is, and we saw that happen here in the Winston Cup race in the spring. The second group finally came in once the rubber got down on the racetrack.
Mike McLaughlin in the Royal Oak machine, he is 4th. Kenseth in the 17 is 5th. Kenseth closing in.
94 car off the pace back there, Rick.
Looks like Ron Barfield with some problems as we continue to watch the battle for 4th spot.
He was running pretty good, too, wasn't he?
Barfield was sitting 21st at the time there. Buckshot Jones, Joe Bessie, meantime, back for 6th and 7th and 8th. And here's McLaughlin in the 34 with Kenseth now all over him on the low side. That's going to be a pass for position to move Kenseth to 4th spot. That jumps McLaughlin to 5th.
I think Mike McLaughlin at the moment is chasing the chassis just a little bit. He saw the lap traffic in front of him. He eased out of the throttle, not making a problem for Matt Kenseth and let him go by. He could have made it tough on him.
There's a kid that a lot of people are talking about that could be somebody that's a real prospect for the future. Kenson, a lot of people like him. I understand Jack Roush has a real interest in him.
Kenseth out of the Midwestern short track ranks, an ASA star, moved into the Robbie Reiser machine back earlier this season, and he is looking very strong here this afternoon.
And another guy looking for a sponsor next year. We understand that Kraft's moving on next year, so they won't be on this car. So, you know, he's got to run well and is doing that.
A lot to prove, and a guy with a lot at stake here today. The Fina Chevrolet and Randy LaJoie, the point leader, started 16th today. He's the leader, coming up on 80 laps to go at Dover, Delaware. We'll be right back. It's been a wild afternoon so far at Dover Downs. Show you a couple of looks at what happened about 20 laps ago. Jeff Fuller goes around hard into the wall, and then later, after Kevin LePage got the fence, Bill Parsons with trouble. Mark Green involved in that one too, and it has taken 11 cars behind the wall so far. Welcome back to TNN's coverage of the MBNA 200 at Dover Downs International Speedway. I'll show you the battle for 5th spot. Mike McLaughlin in the 34, Buckshot Jones in the 00 right behind him in 6th. We've got Mike Dillon there in 7th in the 72 car. Less than 80 miles to go, and it's getting down to where everybody's needing to show their hands everything.
Yeah, Buckshot, you know, I watched him run earlier in the day, and he was running a higher line than some of the other guys was. That seems to be coming in for him right now, working, and he's up all over the back of McLaughlin right now.
Mike McLaughlin sitting 5th. We showed you an in-car look a moment ago. Phil Parsons' car wounded in that crash a little earlier. Parsons hanging in there very much in the point chase and showing in 23rd spot.
You know, we're looking at McLaughlin in 34 there. He's gone off as far as his handling package because Kenseth went by him just a little while ago, and as you could just see, he's like a half a straightaway ahead already. So McLaughlin may be holding this group up, but he's racing as hard as he can, and he can't just pull over and play dead, you know?
No, you know something too, buddy. There goes a Buckshot down underneath there, but this track's a whole lot easier to drive when you can diamond these corners off the way they're doing right now. When you can go in, let the car run up a little in the middle of the corner, it gives you a lot better entry into the turn and off the turn.
Mike McLaughlin, though, just pushing up the racetrack quite a bit as the Dillon car. Mike Dillon goes by. Buckshot Jones moves by as well as you check out NASCAR timing and scoring presented by MCI at the top of the screen. Coming up on 75 miles to go, and McLaughlin backing up at this point.
Yeah, how about that Dillon kid? Man, I just looked there. He's up to 6th place. And, you know, as you pointed out earlier, this kid has really come on in the second half of the year. I've seen him lead races. He had a shot at winning a couple of races. Doing a great job.
Joe Bessie, meantime, trying to work under the 34 car. This would be for 7th spot as they head toward turn 3. Glenn Jarrett on pit road. What about Mike Dillon? Has he got a chance to get up and challenge you today?
Oh, he's run a great race so far. And I tell you what, guys, we monitored something on their radio a while ago that I couldn't quite believe. He is going to try and go all the way and not make another stop.
Meantime, Ricky Craven.
I believe Ricky Craven in the pits. We'll walk down and see if we can get the other hoods up on the car. We'll see if we can get the story on that. Also, Tim Fedewa came in on that last caution, guys. He changed the 4 tires and filled up with fuel. They also will try to go all the way. I've asked everybody else in the top 5 or 6. None of them have said that they can go all the way. So 72 and 33 may have something for them.
Pit strategy could be key here in the last 73 miles, but Steve Burns, it looks like strategy won't be a question for Ricky Craven.
No, unfortunately, Rick, we just heard him radio in. Once they raised the hood, the crew found out that the crankshaft pulley had come off. The crankshaft pulley off the number 2 car.
And the car will not run when that happens. So scratch Ricky Craven from the order. He was sitting 3rd at the time he came on the pit road. Tough break for the driver of the Ray Vestas Chevrolet. Mike Dillon, meantime, continues to climb up to 5th now. Buckshot Jones is now 4th. So this could get interesting here in the last 70 miles.
Yeah, it always does. And somebody always pulls something out of the hat, like not making that pit stop everybody else thought they were going to have to make. So you never know. And Dillon is running a great race. And there's our number 2 point man there, and he's still in the hunt, too.
Todd Bodine started way back in 30th spot. It has been a patient, if slow, climb to the front. Give Bodine 14th spot as he gets by Glenn Allen Jr.
Good move there. Glenn Allen could see he's much quicker, so he didn't hold him up. You can see Elliott or Hermie Sadler there in the number 1. That's a new paint job on that car. Very attractive, and it looks like it's running very well on the bottom part of the racetrack.
It's like a bumblebee.
Point leader Randy LaJoie, meantime, has come from 16th to lead. He's led 58 miles here so far, as we have 69 laps remaining around the 1 mile concrete here at Dover Downs. LaJoie, I don't think he can put it away today with 4 races left after this one, but he can take a big step toward his 2nd consecutive title if he can go on and win here this afternoon.
Well, I think Mr. Bumgarner hit it right on the head when he said this team is focused on the championship. And it seemed like every year when they get to this point with Dover and Charlotte and then Rockingham, they're ready to go racing, and they got their equipment in line, and they're prepared.
That's his teammate Tim Fedowa directly in front. LaJoie about to put a lap on Fedowa and send him a little further back in the order. Fedowa shown 19th at this point.
Base Motorsports, I was over there the other day. They're going to add another team. You know, the multi-car team seems to be the wave of the future. I know Darrell's adding a team with his race team next year. It's got to be a plus to have a lot of feedback from other team members.
It certainly has helped that team quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a big payoff. Everybody works together. You learn more that way. You learn quicker, and that's what we're in. The sport right now, all of us are in a fast learning pace, and the guy that can learn the most, the fastest, is the guy that's going to stay on top.
Randy LaJoie has obviously learned his lessons well. 67 miles to go at Dover. LaJoie from 16th is your leader. We'll be right back. Winnebago Industries is the official motorhome of TNN. Stop by your local Winnebago or Itasca dealer now. See the new models available. For more information on the Winnebago Motorsports team, give us a call at 1-800-643-4892 and use extension number 2. Broadcast brought to you by Featherlight Trailers today, the official trailers of NASCAR, CART, the Indy Racing League, and a major sponsor of the NHRA. Call Featherlight for all your trailer needs at 800-800-1230 or 319-547-6000. And commercial transportation for our broadcast, provided by Ryder, the official transportation company of Opryland. Back at Dover, Delaware, the MBNA 200 leaders head to pit road. We've got a caution on the speedway. Al Browning spun the 46 car up in turn 2, and he did it right in front of leader Randy LaJoie. LaJoie leads the parade onto pit road, so this will give everybody a chance for fuel at least. Steve Burns on pit road.
And Matt Kenseth brings the car down to the attention of crew chief and car owner Robbie Reiser. Now, this is a good break for them because just prior to the caution, I asked Reiser if they could go the rest of the way on gas, and he said it was going to be real iffy. Very iffy if they could make it. Now, obviously they will. They do make a chassis adjustment. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Steve, down at this end, Randy LaJoie, Steve Park, and Elliott Sadler are all in for service. They're all getting fuel and 4 tires. On all those cars. There was some conversation between Randy LaJoie. He was very close to that incident. He is down and away. 29 just about leading out to Elliott Sadler comes out second. And Steve Park loses all kinds of time on pit road. These guys are really disgusted.
Steve Park's still making a chassis adjustment on the back end of that car. We saw one of them doing with a wrench in the back window there. So that does take a little bit of extra time. LaJoie back up on the speedway. Sadler, they were 1 and 2 before the caution. Show you what happened. Hal Browning, who is a real veteran in Delaware racing, veteran of the dirt tracks in this area, late model stock car driver. And there's LaJoie down into 1. Browning in the white car there, down low.
You can see him spinning. Now watch Randy LaJoie in the 74 come up here. He is almost collected there as he goes down on the flat, barely getting by.
Well, that's one of those times when you're not sure whether to go high or low because you don't know how far back up the racetrack that car is going to go. So he was very fortunate.
Mark Green will take over as your leader for the restart at this point. 139 miles complete, 61 to go. We come back to Dover Downs. And we're back at Dover Downs International Speedway. Rick Benjamin, Darrell Waltrip, Buddy Baker up top side. Steve Burns and Glenn Jarrett with Chad Little today on pit road. NASCAR Busch Series racing, 141 miles complete. Mark Green, number 37, the restart leader. After that cycle of pit stops following the Hal Browning spin, Randy LaJoie tucks in second spot. Dennis Setzer is a lapped car. 37 of Mark Green. What's his strategy, Steve Burns?
Well, as you remember, Rick, he was in that accident on lap 85. This pit stop, they changed just 2 tires, right side tires, enabling him to get out quickly.
Green cashes in on that 2-tire change to be your leader. LaJoie is second, Sadler is third, and they've got about 8 or 10 car lengths to go to catch the lead.
If you think about the 37 car, he was in that big crash right here on the front straightaway. He spun that thing around, backed it up against the fence, but didn't look like it hurt it that much.
We were concerned that Randy LaJoie's machine might have suffered a little bit of damage. There was some talk that he might have made contact with the 46 of Hal Browning. Sure doesn't look that way. No. LaJoie is fast and on the move. There's the 0-0 of Buckshot Jones. Buckshot back and forth. We're looking at his nose piece out of the back end of the Dennis Setzer machine there. Buckshot moves by. Down the back straightaway. Chad Little on pit road. What's going on with the Team 34 machine?
Well, during the pit stop, I was talking to crew chief Gary Cogswell, and Gary told me that Mike's just a little bit loose, so they dropped the track bar, and they really believe that they can come on and win this thing, and that everybody in the pits is really excited right now.
Boy, that'd be a big change. The way LaJoie's been running, and I haven't seen him, McLaughlin hadn't showed that kind of speed all day, so I don't know.
The fastest car on the speedway, we're looking at him just behind these 2 cars right here is Buckshot Jones. He is flying up through here. Now you can see him moving in on Mark Green there as they head down. He closed in about 15 car lengths on the lead there, just in a couple of laps.
57 miles to go, and if Buckshot Jones is able to get around Mark Green, it looks like he'll do that very quickly. It's been set up quite a battle to the end. You know that he and Randy LaJoie have had a great rivalry developing this year.
Boy, this is really tight right through here.
Oh, little contact there. Mark Green got touched there. You see him coming off the corner there very wide.
He had to let Buckshot go because he was in a vulnerable position on that outside, and Buckshot wasn't going to give.
Hal Browning there, the 46, the driver who spun a few moments ago off the pace, but still running down low, and everybody trying to get around him as they come off at 2. The Slim Jim 57 there, Jason Keller. Keller, as Green rides in 4th, Keller's back in 8th, so Green actually has lost some spots.
Yeah, he was leading on the restart, and he's backing up in a hurry. 2 tires, not the way to go. Terry Labonte right there, and Steve Park as well. Park back in 10th spot now.
Whoa, let's shuffle Mark Green to the outside.
Boy, look at Mark. Did you see Buckshot and Kenson? They had to go around the 47 cars running real slow, and boy.
Robert Presley with motor problems, evidently. He's had that situation developing for quite a while, too. Jason Keller, Labonte, Steve Park, and Mike Dillon as they fight it out for 8th and 9th. To show you Mark Green's situation, he and Buckshot coming together.
Yeah. He had to give.
Well, you see the lap car right there. Buckshot just had to touch him. That or back all the way off, and probably Kansas would have got into the back of him. It's the situation where you had to go.
Randy LaJoie, meantime, pushing up the racetrack. Elliott Sadler to the low side. And we've got a new leader for the first time in quite a while. Elliott Sadler takes over. LaJoie comes right back at him, but he's going to have to drop into 2nd spot.
I think LaJoie's been running that bottom line so well, and all of a sudden there's Sadler where he's been running. But I think Randy might sit there and his car gets better the longer they run. I'd be curious to see how he does here the longer they go.
Joe Bessie on the move now. Takes 5th away from Mike McLaughlin. Back to the lead battle. These 2 drivers accounting for 8 wins in the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series in 1997. Roy with 5, Elliott with 3.
Boy,
57 of Jason Keller with trouble.
Oh, the 72 touched him coming off turn 4 here like we've seen happen all day long. And now here's the 3 cars. That's 3 cars.
No, that's the 33.
And there's Randy LaJoie. You said he gets better on long runs. A couple more laps, right back by the lead once again.
Yeah, he got shoved up out of his groove there when Sadler got by him, and I think it was just a matter of time he put it back down on that white line.
I think if crewmen don't get into this, you can see everybody getting into the act here. I think Elliott Sadler's just as fast, but, boy, I tell you what, he's got a determined guy he's got to beat there. Randy LaJoie puts everything he has into his driving.
Less than 50 miles to go. How important is experience here? LaJoie's got quite a bit more than Elliott Sadler.
Doesn't mean a thing right now. Probably the guy with the least amount of experience to be in the best shape.
You guys don't forget the third-place runner there, Buckshot Jones. He's just getting into the fight right now, but he's getting around here.
Buckshot Jones is third in the 00 and gaining ground. Matt Kenseth in the 17 is fourth.
They're all around you.
Quick. Three drivers who don't have a lot of Busch Series experience chasing one who does. Why would that lack of experience play into this?
Well, just because the experienced guy, he knows when he's in trouble, and he'll give a little. He might back you out of the throttle. He let the other guy go. The other guy don't really know. So he'll take a chance and figure he can get away with it.
We'll show you what happened a moment ago. Mike Dillon in the 72, the 57 of Jason Keller. There's that contact we were talking about a couple of moments ago.
It's the hunter and the hunted. And the hunter is back there, you know, he ain't got nothing to lose. He's trying to catch, he's trying to bag something. And the guy being hunted, he's the guy that's got everything to lose.
Elliott Sadler trying to bag his fourth win of the season. Looked like he had stolen a march on it there a moment ago, but LaJoie right back by him to retake the lead.
Well, I think one thing that really helps these young drivers is experienced crew chiefs that have been here before and know a lot about the racetrack. That adds a lot of experience to a driver. He may not have it, but the car does. Oh, trouble.
One car in the wall. Hermie Sadler has popped the wall hard coming down the main straightaway, so we've got a caution.
Also broke the wall there. This is going to be a long caution here. He hit very, very hard.
Well, that crewman hit pretty hard, too, but that's a tough place to hit right
He hit right at the gate there, and it knocked part of the gate down.
What's that smoking over there? Is that the tire?
Looks like a tire. Sure does.
Tore the tire off of it, and it came through the wall, looks like.
Looks like he caught the corner of the car on the brake in the gate there.
Yeah.
There you see the left front wheel off of Hermie Sadler's DeWalt Chevrolet. And there is the damage to the boilerplate gate here at Dover.
Man, he knocked the fire out of it.
He had bounced across the racetrack. It looked as though Hermie had gotten into the outside wall first and then bounced down across the track, and he hit the split in the fence dead center.
Let me get back to Glenn real quick. It won't make no difference now because he'd probably get him some more tires. So, yeah, he's going to wear the tires out quicker running that high line.
Look at the damage on Hermie Sadler's car, though. I mean, the left front and the radiator over is missing.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the fence right there.
That's a hard place to hit when you hit the break in the wall like that, a testimony to how well the NASCAR safety regulations and how well Hermie Sadler's team put that car together, how well those things work together to protect the driver. Let's go to Chad Little on pit road.
Well, I'm standing here just opposite of where Hermie hit the wall, and you couldn't believe the noise that it made. You can see the oil filter that's laying on the ground right there, and then you can see the wall that's sheared in two right there. There's his wheel laying on the ground where it broke the spindle right off the frame. This was a hard impact, and we see what happened. That's where the wall comes apart, where the people and the pedestrians and cars can get from the racetrack into the pits here. Well, he hit right there where that wall separates, and it tore that whole assembly, the wheel off, got into the oil filter and everything. It's a good thing Hermie's okay, but we saw him walk to the ambulance, and he's fine. It's just a good testament to the safety in the cars.
So it sheared the oil filter off and threw it about 30 feet from the look of things.
Yeah, it's just that boiler plate. It just opened up, and when it did, it just sheared all that left front corner of the car right off like a saw.
Mike McLaughlin takes advantage to come onto pit road, as does Elton Sawyer. McLaughlin running 6th at the moment. Sawyer in the 38th running in 14th spot. Take you back a moment ago. Let's show you this one more time. Hermie Sadler had bounced off the outside wall.
Oh, God.
And there's the lick to the inside wall. We'll listen to it now and take a listen to this from our in-car camera.
Folks, let me tell you, that stings. Oh, gosh, that stings.
The outside, when he hit the outside wall, that was hard. But when he come back across the racetrack, like you said, half of the car tried to go into the pit road.
We'll see fenders crunching, wheels busting, and doors flying off. And it's not even the 17 car that we're talking about there. This game gets so real, you'll scrape the mud off your television. More information about TNN Motorsports Hardcore 4x4 is available at our website, www.country.com. So Hermie Sadler's afternoon comes to a premature end with a very, very hard lick on the main straightaway here at Dover Downs. We're under caution. 163 laps of 200 are complete. We'll be back with more of the MBNA 200 in a moment.
Race fans, you make the call. New LCI residential long-distance customers receive 30 minutes of free domestic calling and the World Card Plus calling card featuring participating NASCAR drivers. Don't delay. Call now, 1-888-TEAM-LCI.
And you can race into the all-new official store of NASCAR, NASCAR Thunder, of course. Visit us at NASCAR Thunder, now open in cities everywhere. Locations and information available from our website, www.country.com. NASCAR Thunder is the official store of NASCAR.
Boy, I can't tell you how important a good restart when they go back under green is for Randy LaJoie and everybody else. You need to get a good start here.
Plus, these things have been setting for a while now. That temperatures aren't up, so this is a critical time.
We've run about 4 laps under caution. Safety cars in. Remember, the rule change this weekend, just like in Winston Cup. The lead lap cars are on the outside for the restart. Here's the green. LaJoie brings them to the stripe to begin lap 173.
Yeah, not necessarily a good start either. It worked out all right. The 43 car let him go.
There gets down to the inside as the field pours off turn 2. Buckshot Jones is second. Elliott Sadler is third. Joe Bessie is fourth. And LaJoie opens up about 10 car lengths on. That's bad news.
Well, that lap car, that little bit of hesitant there between the lap car, got these cars about 4 or 5 car left back. Randy LaJoie got a great restart.
3 cars battling for second spot, the 00, the 29, and the 6. And as you always tell us, when you get to racing back there, it gives the leader an advantage.
Oh, yeah, he'll jump out there to a little lead, but they're chasing him back down. It takes Buckshot a couple laps there. Remember that. Oh, I was running the high line. I forgot. Because everybody else was running that low line.
Matt Kenseth is 5th in the 17. He's got Steve Park and Mike Dillon right behind him as they battle it out for 5th, 6th, and 7th back there.
You know, a lot of people don't realize they're running 170 mile an hour down the straightaway here, so there's a lot of draft. They are drafting back up on Randy LaJoie as we speak, and they pulled it down to 1 car length now.
Well, Buckshot's going to make a race out of it. I don't know what's going to happen, but he's going to make a race out of it.
Leader is LaJoie coming off of turn 4. Jones is second in the 00. Sadler in the 29. Bessie in the 6. So you've got LaJoie. And then the 3 black machines lined up right behind him. And Buckshot pushing up high there.
Yeah, I said I don't know what's going to happen. I got a pretty good idea what's going to happen, but we'll wait and see.
Rick, he's really not pushing up. What he's doing, he's running a line. Now, you watch him go up right there. As Darrell was talking earlier in the show, he's diamond in the corner just a little bit. He's getting a lot of free roll in the center part of the corner and not binding the car up the center.
Yeah, he's probably a little tight. And that high line and rolling up through the middle right there, it really works to his advantage. But I don't know. Randy looks like he's kind of keeping him at bay right there. Don't want to let him get too close.
25 miles to go this afternoon at Dover after a long red flag. We're glad you stuck around with us today on TNN Motorsports. Elliott Sadler third, trying to reel in the 00 car. Meantime, a battle a little further back in the pack. The 63 of Tracy Leslie has come from the back of the field. Right now, he's showing in 9th spot, and then 10th right behind him, Glenn Allen Jr. in the 99 car. Both those drivers have turned in good runs here this afternoon.
Yeah, they have. You just watch Buckshot. He gets such a great run off the corner because of the line he's running, and that's going to pay off, I think, in the end.
Buckshot
watch him close up coming off.
Back.
See him how he pulls right up, and that's because he's not turning his car down, binding it up, getting off the corner.
LaJoie, though, with the lead and the low side, certainly has an advantage in terms of catching him is one thing, passing him is always something.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right now, LaJoie's the carrot.
Yeah, but
what's out there? You see Buckshot making the run. Watch him right here in the center part of the corner. Go up just a little bit. Now gets tremendous run towards the straightaway. You can see right there.
Yeah, and it makes him fast down the straightaway, too.
He's going to take a look on the inside of Randy going into turn 1 and takes the lead.
Well, they're all around here. Like I said, right back on the low side.
Looking on the inside, just run you a good
take him high, take him low.
Clear.
So LaJoie gives up the lead to Buckshot Jones, and it was an easy pass that Buckshot made there.
Oh, I think Randy did that earlier with the 29 car. I don't think this race is over by any means. LaJoie sticking right with him in 2nd spot. Buckshot Jones looking for his first win of the season. And that win last year on the Milwaukee Mile. This year he's been consistent, but hasn't yet made it to victory lane.
You know, we're watching the first 2 cars here, and they're really going at it. But look at Joe Bessie right there in 3rd place in the 6th car. He's really closed this thing up to a 3-car race now.
Coming up 20 laps to go. This time by, and here's LaJoie to the low side out of 4.
This one the fun's going to start when they start running side by side.
Well, you know what he's doing right now. He's sizing him up. He found a place that he's faster, and he's working on Buckshot right there. If he can get him looking in the mirror and miss that line one time, Randy LaJoie will take that lead right back.
Don't know if you noticed it a couple of laps ago, but off of 4, LaJoie's car wiggled a little bit. Is he in a situation where he might be getting loose? Buckshot, which is way high.
Oh, that's way too high. But he gets good run off the corner.
Don't overdrive the car now.
Yep, don't overdrive it. That's what they're telling him. And that's what LaJoie will do. He'll keep that fender right up there where he keeps seeing it, and he'll try to drive it off in the corner and actually push it up too high.
LaJoie is second behind leader Buckshot Jones. Glenn Jarrett, what are they saving in the base motorsports pit?
Well, guys, you know, when we were talking to Bertie during that break, he told us that the car was just a little loose on that particular set of tires, and now we're starting to see it come in the longer they run. Randy's keeping the heat on him, but he does have just a little bit of a loose condition.
Buckshot's in trouble right now. That car went way out of the groove down there in turn 3 just a second ago.
Look at this. Look at this.
Joe Bessie to the inside.
Now LaJoie's really in trouble.
Bessie gets second away from LaJoie.
But Buckshot gets way too high in turns 3 and 4, and that's going to be where they're going to get him at. He gets through 1 and 2 pretty good. He gets way high in 3 and 4.
Now, if Bessie is not as fast as LaJoie, this gives Buckshot a real advantage.
I think LaJoie is trying to figure out if he would rather let Bessie take care of Buckshot, or is he going to have to take care of himself?
Well, it's been a long time since payday for that 6 car there. You can bet that Bessie's going to give it everything he has. See this line right there? Look how Bessie closed in on him. 3 car lengths in 1 corner.
Way too high to turn 4. If he could get it down a little bit, he'd be a lot better off.
Down a little further back, this is Steve Park in 6th. Mike Dillon 7th. Now give Dillon 6th spot. So Dillon gets by Park to take 6th away with 16 laps. 16 miles remaining this afternoon. The battle for 6th position. They're right behind Elliott Sadler, who's dropped back to 5th now. Matt Kenseth has rolled up
too high. Too high.
Here's the race for the lead out of 4. Bessie low. Can't do it.
So he's closing in inch by inch, and he has some help right now. Randy LaJoie can run low like Bessie can, so those 2 cars are really working him over as they start off turn 2.
Buckshot, I knew it.
He turns him around.
I knew it. He was in trouble out there like that. You're so vulnerable out there like that.
Buckshot Jones hard into the inside retaining wall. Bessie got up alongside, and around he went, and we're cautioned once again with 15 miles to go.
See, the 74 knows he and Buckshot, they got a little thing going. He didn't want to be caught in that position. He let Bessie go up there and race him, and knowing that that's probably what was going to happen.
Let me tell you, that was not intentional.
Oh, no.
That was not intentional.
That double zero is in jeopardy out there like that. All you got to do is wiggle a little bit, and you're into him.
So Buckshot Jones's bid to win his first race in 1997 might come to fruition here today. Jones down in the apron. He'll bring the car around onto pit road with 13 miles to go, our 7th caution period of the afternoon.
The double zero just kept getting higher and higher and higher, and it's all right to get out on the outside like that, but you're giving up too much, and you're making yourself so vulnerable to the guy underneath you.
And if you're going to run high, you better stay high. When you start back down, somebody's there's nothing you can do.
Joe Bessie, meantime, will take the lead for the restart coming up in a few moments. His best finish this year so far, 6th at Nazareth earlier in the season. Let's show it to you again out of turn 2.
He never touched him.
I'm not sure he even touched him.
Never touched him. That was what we were talking about when a car gets directly up under another car.
Look at LaJoie got up against the fence too, buddy. I don't know how hard, but he got against the fence a little bit. Look at that cameraman run. Whoa.
Buckshot nosed it into the inside retaining wall pretty strongly.
Yep.
You know, that's the wonderful thing about a good replay. You could see he never touched him. There was 6 inches between the 2 cars.
Yeah.
But the force of the air coming off that second car just turned him right on around.
That's it. When you're up that high and you're coming off the corner, you're carrying a lot of speed, but you're awfully loose right there at that point, too.
Now the Buckshot Jones team on pit road taking a look at the damage. It looks as though the double zero will not be able to return and complete the race. We're still under caution. Coming up 10 laps to go. Let's go back to Steve Burns.
And Buckshot just got through watching the replay. Buckshot, from the driver's seat, what happened?
I don't know. I just hate it for our sponsors, Aquafresh and Keebler, but you know, we were faster than Randy. We passed Randy clean. We didn't touch Randy. And then Bessie comes out there. I don't know. If he was faster than me, he should have passed me clean. He should have never touched my bumper.
Back to green flag race.
We are green again. 10 laps to go. This time by Bessie, your leader in the 6th. LaJoie in the 74 is 2nd. 17 of Kenseth is 3rd. The 29 of Elliott Sadler runs 4th. Right behind him in 5th, Mike Dillon in the 72. About a 4-car length lead for Bessie with 10 to go.
Well, I think LaJoy will get there. I think he can pass him, but I'm not sure.
Bessie was so quick the way he caught the 2 leaders a few moments ago and just whipped right by LaJoy.
Yeah, but I think that was some of that experience, championship experience, that told Randy to let him go and get up there and race Buckshot.
LaJoy gaining just a hint of ground through 3 and 4. 9 laps to go this time by.
And not only that, but, you know, running second today, and especially with Bodine back where he is, that ain't all bad for Randy in the championship.
Todd Bodine's still back in 15th spot.
You know, one thing we hadn't talked about, a lot of the race cars out there are good followers. They're real fast until they get in the lead. Bessie hadn't been in the lead all day today. Now, whether that car will stay good and consistent, you see Randy kind of closing back up on him a little bit, but it looks like Bessie has a fast car today.
Yeah, I tell you, somebody else is fast. That 72 car, that kid's been doing a good job today. I've been watching him, and he's doing a good job, too.
Mike Dillon back up to 5th with pressure on Elliott Sadler for 4th.
I think he's going to get Sadler, too. He's working on him pretty hard.
Steve Park is right there as well in 6th spot.
Whoa.
Dillon takes a look, and Park is in position to capitalize here as well.
Dillon's faster if he can just get that nose up there. Get it way up there now. Don't just get it part of the way.
No contact. Everybody stays straight. 7 laps remaining.
Boy, this kind of racing makes you nervous, doesn't it?
I tell you what, I wish everybody could see you up here. He's like a worm in hot ashes up here.
I can't figure out what race to watch, man. They're racing in the front. They're racing for 5th.
No change among the first 5.
Well, I believe it's Bessie's race to lose. If he doesn't do anything, you know, get himself in trouble somewhere, get sideways or something, he's going to win this sucker.
And your Big A Auto Parts driver of the race today in the MBNA 200, Tracy Leslie in the 63 car, started 39th, and he's come up through the field to 7th spot for the Hubert Hensley Racing Team. A good run today for Tracy Leslie down into turn number 1. Sadler in the 29 there, still 4th. And we'll show you the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th place machines. Uh-oh. 5 to go now. The lead 2 cars down into turn 3. There's the group that's right behind them.
That's a whale of a race right in there. Those cats are really dicing it up.
Stretching from 6th back to 11th.
I'll tell you one thing, Tracy Leslie in the 63 there, he's been in 2 spinouts today and worked his way right back up in the contention there. You see him putting pressure on Steve Park right now, and then he's worked his way back in the top 10 here.
Joe Bessie appears to be your leader. Randy LaJoy in 2nd spot. Couple of car lengths the difference. It'll be 2 laps to go this time by 2 to go, shown to the leaders. Matt Kenseth is 3rd. Dillon is 4th. We take a look back at Terry Labonte running 8th in the 5 car. Mike McLaughlin is 9th. Mark Green is 10th in the 37th. It's been a good day for Green.
Boy, it is, and he's spun there in that one wreck, and he's come back and kept his nose clean the rest of the day and got a good finish.
Boy, 3 young Turks right there fighting him for position right now. Steve Park in the 3 there looking on the inside. See Dillon looking down underneath as they head down into turn 1.
Battling it out for 4th spot.
Yeah, that's some awfully close racing on this racetrack.
Joe Bessie is your leader. White flag should be out this time by. He started 6th here today.
Boy, Dillon wants to put that thing in there, but he just knows he can't quite make it.
This is only his 3rd top 5 finish in the NASCAR Busch Series. White flag waving over Joe Bessie. Got about a 6-car length advantage over Randy LaJoy. Might have been the move of the race for Bessie.
There you have it.
And Mike Dillon gets to the inside of Sadler. This is for position for 4th spot. Steve Park trying to go by as well.
Well, Park really had to get out of the gas. He almost got into the side of the 29.
We'll give Mike Dillon 4th spot now on the last lap.
Yep.
Leaders coming out of turn 4. It looks like it's going to be Joe Bessie to the checkered flag. Bessie gets his first career win in the NASCAR Busch Series. His 112th career start. Previous best was a 3rd at Rockingham back in 1993. And a good run to the finish line. Steve Park may have gotten 5th spot away there.
He may have.
Sadler at the line, too.
It was mighty close. Couldn't tell from up here, but mighty close.
Steve Park, your winner this afternoon. Randy LaJoy rides home in 2nd spot by a couple of car lengths. I want to say a special thank you to a couple of our guests on the broadcast today. Darrell Waltrip, who was topside with us, and Chad Little who helped us on pit road today. They're going to go suit up and take part in Winston Cup Happy Hour. Gentlemen, thanks. It was a pleasure to have you with us
It's
today.
a great race, and I enjoyed every minute of it, and see you later.
Good luck tomorrow, DW. Thanks. Happy scene in Victory Lane in the Joe Bessie pits. We'll talk to the winner when we come back. Back at Dover, Delaware, a very happy crew greeting Joe Bessie in Victory Lane, his first career win in the NASCAR Busch Series. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
And Joe Bessie's climbing out of the number 6 car there. And the crew is absolutely jubilant. Joe looks like he's worn out. Joe, it's been a long time coming, buddy, but congratulations.
Yeah, I'm just worn out emotionally. Been a long time coming. A perfect day. Power team based in Philadelphia, and they got like 300 people down here. And I'm just so happy. Power team Chevrolet, and I can't. As far as the Buckshot deal, he just lost it coming off from 2, and I could have given up the win, or I could have kept going for the win, and I went for the win. And good Lord works in mysterious ways. Last week he destroyed the car that we would have brought here, and this car's given us its best finishes this year, and it's just been a good solid backup car. And last week was hell, and 2 weeks ago was hell at Richmond. This is heaven here. I thank God and thank the power team people, and I'm disappointed everybody's not so happy as I am with the win, but I worked hard for it. I paid my dues. Just happy for these guys. The pit stops have been horrible all year long, and they've just buried them. I mean, just really worked their butts off, and just did a tremendous job today. It's the first time they've worked hard, and we've worked hard. We started to qualify real good. Got to the point where we qualified and couldn't race well, and we've worked on that even harder, and just this team's ready to turn the corner. We're looking forward to next year. We got 2 more years with the power team, and just things are really turning for me. I've worked hard. A lot of people supported me. My mom and Leroy out in St. Louis, and Graham up in Maine, and Harry and Barry, and it's been a patchwork quilt. I know I'm going to forget somebody, but all night trucking up in New York. Been great people. Auto Works out in Ohio, and Chevrolet, Monte Carlo, and Goodyear, and I'm just, you're cutting me off, but I hope I didn't forget anybody.
I don't think you did, Joe. Again, congratulations. And as he said, we couldn't tell from our camera angle, but he says that Buckshot just lost it.
This is what happened coming into Victory Lane for Joe Bessie. This is what Bessie was referring to when he said some people weren't happy with his victory. Some members of Buckshot Jones's team trying to block Bessie's road into Victory Lane, and Joe kept going. And they had to jump out of the way, some contact there, and a difficult way to end what has been a very positive afternoon, certainly, for Joe Bessie. His first career win in the NASCAR Busch Series. Randy LaJoie adds to his point lead by coming home in 2nd spot today. Todd Bodine in 15th. Matt Kenseth with a nice 3rd, his best career finish. And Mike Dillon with his best career run to 4th in the 72. And there's Todd Bodine down in 15th spot as we take you through the entire field here today. And several of these drivers not around at the finish. We had several cautions, some hard hits here today. Buckshot Jones was leading with 15 to go when he turned around coming out of turn 2. And Buddy Baker looked to you and really to most folks, I think, as though there wasn't any contact there when he went around. Hard to say.
You know, when you get down to 10 laps to go, anything can happen. And really, I mean, from one angle, it looked like he got touched. From another angle, it didn't look like. But the one thing, Joe Bessie drove his heart out today, as did Buckshot. Just unfortunate.
I want to congratulate Joe Bessie on his first career NASCAR Busch Grand National victory. For Buddy Baker and Darrell Waltrip on pit road today, Glenn Jarrett, Steve Burns, and Chad Little. I'm Rick Benjamin. Thanks for watching, everybody, and sticking with us all afternoon. Congratulations again to Joe Bessie, the winner of the MBNA 200.
Brought to you by Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley has been helping people do things right. And by Texaco, a world of energy.